Jonathan. Let's talk to Jonathan. You're on the air with Mike Fabarez. How can I help? Jonathan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. What's your question today?
Okay, my question is on Deuteronomy 14:28. And my question is about my tithes. You see, I give some part to my mother. She doesn't work. She has her own ministry. And sometimes I feel like the church, I don't know, they've been putting a little bit of conviction that I shouldn't be giving it. But she doesn't work. She does have her own ministry online. And, what's your input on that, Pastor Mike?
Well, the Bible's pretty clear in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 that we ought to be giving. If you have your radio there or whatever sound you've got coming, if you could, Jonathan, just turn that down a little bit. That would help us. But wherever you are receiving your spiritual direction, your spiritual teaching, your pastors at your local church, that ought to be the first place that you give, the most generously and the most consistently. And I say that because that's the way the Bible puts it. Just like a soldier would never serve at his own expense, and just like a farmer wouldn't do all of this work and not receive some portion of the crop, so someone who sows spiritual things in your life, they should be reaping material things. That's what keeps them going in being able to provide that. So all the other ministries that I support has to come secondarily to my own church. So I'd say, Jonathan, your giving needs to be first and foremost to your local church, and then secondarily to any ministry. Even if it's your brother, your mom, your sister, your kid, that's a second-tier giving. And I'm not saying you shouldn't give. I'm saying you should give, but it needs to be both and. You ought to be giving to your church and to the pastors that oversee your spiritual life and give you feeding on Sunday mornings. And then you can support beyond that radio ministries and radio stations and missionaries and other lands. Feel free to give as much as you can in various places and still pay your bills. God will honor that and will continue to shovel things, I think, in your direction to be generous to others, not to enrich yourself, but to be a blessing to other people. So if you're giving to your mom's ministry, some online ministry that she's doing without giving to your church, then I'd say that's a problem. Because according to Galatians 6:6, you ought to be giving to your teachers that are teaching you the Word of God in your local church. And that's the primary and foremost. And then beyond that, then support your mom. And that's great. If she's doing good work, give to your mom. But it can't be in the place of giving to your local church. Does that help, Jonathan?